for your Yorkshire tea loaf. It's a cake that you prepare some of the ingredients the night before and then you bake it the next morning. So the night before you're going to take your dried fruit, sugar and tea, leave it soaking overnight, and then in the morning you add in some flour and an egg, and that's literally it. Put it in the oven to bake. You're going to need about an hour in the morning, so I like to get it in the oven, go for a shower, get ready, and then it's ready if I'm heading off for a meeting. I like to impress people with something warm out of the oven. It's just a little thing. People always appreciate it though, and it's lovely served with some salted butter. The night before, you're going to take 350 grams of dried fruit, and you can buy the bags of pre-mixed dried fruit, or I like to add in some of that, perhaps some apricots and lots of sultanas to make up the mix. Doesn't really matter, whatever you like is fine. And then you need 50 grams of demerara sugar and 50 grams of muscovado sugar, which I can't say, dark muscovado sugar. It's the one that looks a little bit like toffee. And make up 150 millilitres of tea, let it go cold. You can use any kind of tea, whatever you like. However, for me, there really is only one kind of tea. It's the Yorkshire tea. So 150 millilitres of that. Mix everything together in a bowl. In true Blue Peter style, here's one I prepared earlier. So you might be able to see we've got the fruit, which doesn't look quite as dry as it did before. The tea's all soaked in with the sugars, and yeah, it's really delicious. Now the key thing here is there is a little bit of liquid still in there. Don't get rid of that. That adds to the flavour and it keeps the cake nice and moist. So we've left this soaking overnight. If you're in a hurry, you can do it just for 4 hours. 4 hours really is the minimum though, because otherwise the fruit's still being quite hard. Dog's barking again. And then we're going to add in 225 grams of self-raising flour and 1 large egg. Large, jumbo if you can get it, always free range. We only like happy hens. Top tip. Any cake I bake, doesn't really matter what it is, I always use, if there's any butter in it, I always use unsalted butter. But I always add in a little pinch of salt to the flour. Similarly, if I was doing a savoury pastry, I would always add a pinch of sugar. Again, I don't know where I was taught these things. I suspect it was from my nana. But anyway, it's what I do, so try it too. Okay, I'm going to get mixing. Our Yorkshire tea mix is all ready, good to go in the oven. So you're going to need a £1 loaf tin. These are really inexpensive, and if you are self-isolating, you can get them on Amazon. Sorry, Amazon drivers, please take care. And then basically you need to grease the tin, use a tin liner. Yeah, I cheated and I got this as well, pre-made. However, you can just line your tin with baking parchment or baking paper, whatever you've got. You could probably at a push do it with foil as well, but I would probably double wrap it with foil and put a little grease between the two. So this is going, or some of this is going to my friend who is dairy intolerant, so you could grease it with butter. I'm just going to spray, nice and easy. And then you can use a pastry brush to get it evenly distributed. To be fair, it's really easy bake. I usually just do that. And then a little squirt in each of the corners, because that's where you tend to find that the mixture sticks. And then we're just going to add it in. We're going to pop it in the oven at about 180 degrees to get us started. I usually set a timer for 20 minutes, check it, turn it around and put it back in for another 20 minutes, and then just test every 5 minutes from then onwards. Let's get it into the bowl. Okay, the mixture's in. I've not particularly flattened down the surface, I've just moved it around a little bit into the corners, but to be honest with you, the heat of the oven will do most of that for you. Try not to get it up the size of the tin too much, which I clearly have done, and yeah, let's get it in the oven. Okay, so it's been 40 minutes. I've had family FaceTime and I've had a glass of wine. Obviously these are strange days, but it was very enjoyable watching my mum, who I think, without realising it, was recreating the main character from the Blair Witch Project. I'm gonna post some photos if you like. After 20 minutes, I turned the tea loaf around in the oven. I put it back in and let's see how it's looking. Okay, so we have a lovely golden top. It's still quite squishy. So although it says that you're supposed to take 40 minutes, I've always found that this has taken closer to an hour. But the most important test is the skewer test. So what we do is we hold it in, and I usually try it in a couple of different places. So I don't know if you can see, but there's still, yeah, it's not brilliant, but it's still quite squishy. So I'm going to put this back in for another 5 minutes, test it again, another 5 minutes, test it again. Okay, back in it goes. Okay, so the tea loaf's out of the oven. In the end, it had about 57, 58 minutes. And if we just do this, hopefully you should be able to see the skewer is completely clean, and you can see that the tea loaf has come away from the edge here, and yeah, good to go. So I'm going to let that cool down for a few minutes. A little slice, maybe with a little bit of butter, and yeah, a nice cup of tea. So that's our tea loaf done. It's great for those who are dairy intolerant and anyone who just really likes a nice moist fruit cake. It's yeah, pretty happy with that. It's going to go down a treat, I hope, and look forward to seeing you again. Bye now.